Hey guys, what's going on? It's Christina from Disrupt Ordinary and the Finally Visible Academy. And today I'm going to talk to you about lead magnets, what they are, and how you can create one in only 5 steps. Okay, so let's get started. So a lead magnet is a very big buzz term in our industry that you may have heard of before. So a lead magnet is basically a piece of content that you create that provides a bunch of value to your audience, and you give out this piece of content to them for free in exchange for their information. Okay? So it can really be anything, any kind of content that really just gives your audience something that they find valuable. So it's kind of difficult to get started creating a lead magnet when you've never created one before, right? Because you have to think, well, what am I going to create it about? What is it going to look like? How am I going to get it out to my audience, right? But they can be really useful in helping you to grow your email list, helping you be seen as an expert in your industry, and ultimately helping you to grow your sales, okay? So let's get started talking about how we're actually gonna create this. So step 1 is going to be to decide on your topic. So when we're thinking about what we're gonna talk about, we have to first consider our audience and think, well, what does our audience want to learn about, right? What are they really interested in? What are those pressing questions that they're asking themselves every day, right? Now, in order to come up with this, there's a bunch of different ways. So if you have clients previously and they've asked you a bunch of questions, well, that's a very good indicator that those are great questions to write a lead magnet about. If you don't, or if you have limited questions that they've asked you, well, then you might have to look in other areas. So a great way to do this is to take your audience and give them some type of survey, okay? So you can use SurveyMonkey, you can use JotForm. These are both 2 great platforms that let you create surveys for free. And then what you can do is you can send these surveys to your audience and they'll give you their feedback. So maybe they ask, are you more interested in learning about this topic, or would you rather learn about this topic, right? Now, another great way to do it is on social media. So for example, polls on Instagram stories, those are a really great and quick way to gather some feedback from your audience so you know what they want to learn about, okay? Now, if all else fails, there's another really awesome way where you don't have to talk to your audience, okay? So there's a platform out there called BuzzSumo. And what this platform does is it lets you just type in a certain keyword, so marketing, for example. And then it will come up with the top stories and articles about that keyword. So then you know kind of the different topics surrounding this main topic that you might want to focus on, okay? So that's step number 1. Definitely put some serious thought into creating your topic and thinking about what you're going to write about, okay? Now, let's move on to step number 2. So step number 2 is going to be to choose the format that you want to create your lead magnet in. So there's a bunch of different ways, as I discussed before, that you can create lead magnets in, but let's talk about some of them. So you can create something simple like a checklist or a guide or an ebook, something like that, that just has text that you talk about things and, some images and some other great stuff as well. Or you can create something that's a little more interactive, right? So maybe you want to do a video series where you send them, different videos of different topics that you're talking about. Or maybe you want to do a quiz or some other type of interactive material where they have to basically answer questions, and at the end they put in their information in order to get some type of result back, right? So these are all really great options, but you want to again put some serious thought into what's feasible for you to create and what your audience would react well with, okay? Now let's talk about step number 3. So step number 3 is going to be very, difficult for some of you. And, if you've never created a lead magnet before, especially. So step number 3 is going to be to create all of the content for it. Now, one tip that I definitely want to give you when you're creating this is you have to give it your all, okay? You can't hold anything back in it. So you have to think this content that you're writing about, what you're giving these people for free, should be great enough that they would have paid for it, okay? Because myself and my clients in the past, like when I first got started, I created lead magnets and I had the mindset of, well, I don't want to give it all away, right? I want them to come asking me for more, okay? And this is not a good mindset to have, okay? Because there's so many people out there creating content and creating valuable information for your audience, and you don't want to give them just a small snippet of information that they don't really find that valuable. You want to give them something that they can put into action right away and that really serves them and makes them want to come back for everything else that you can possibly offer them, right? So make sure that when you're writing this, when you're putting this all together, you are giving it absolutely everything you can, and picture it like you're talking to your best friend. Like, you wouldn't tell your best friend half of the story, right? You would tell your best friend everything that you had to give them the best advice possible and help them to succeed. And you should do that in your lead magnet as well, okay? Okay, now step number 4 is going to be to package it up nicely, okay? So we want to make sure that our lead magnet looks beautiful, the entire thing. There's no blurry images. If you're making videos, there's no like ugly videos, bad backdrops, things like that. We want to make sure that everything that we're putting together looks really beautiful, okay? So no like Word documents, you know, nothing like that. They have to be beautiful PDFs if you're doing guides or ebooks. And if you are doing something like that, like a written piece of content, and you haven't checked out Canva, I would highly recommend. So for those of you that don't know, it's a pretty cheap software that you can get online. You can go in and basically design anything that you want, and it's for beginners, so it's super easy to use, okay? So make sure it looks nice. Okay guys, now step number 5, your last step, is going to be to take your lead magnet that you have created and go and promote it. So you should take this lead magnet, promote it everywhere that you can, right? Put it out on social media, put it, you know, in your bio of your social media channels, put it up on your website. You can even send it out in emails, right? Because a lot of people use lead magnets to capture emails, but you know, if you have several lead magnets and you just want to give your audience more value, you can send it out that way as well. So anywhere that you can get this lead magnet out, get it out. And I promise you guys, once you're providing this value to your audience and you're really giving them something that they want and that they need, they will start to see you as an expert and they will come back for more, okay? So if you haven't created your lead magnet yet, definitely get started on it. And if you want some additional help, some additional training and resources, definitely check out the Finally Visible Academy at www.finallyvisible.com. All right. Now guys, as always, if you liked this video, if you found it valuable, go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.